Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Idaho Business Podcast. I am pleased to be with Antoinette Logan. Welcome to the show, Antoinette.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, love to have awesome guests on this show. It's always fun, especially for our guests. You know, sometimes I have just solo episodes and they probably get just tired of hearing me, you know, so they love hearing other people's voices. And your voice is so much nicer than mine. So of course it's going to be such a pleasure. Anyways.
Yeah, but they're not tired of you.
Well, I hope not. Well, a little bit about Antoinette. First of all, she's CEO of the AIM branding company. She's huge on branding. She's a mindset coach. She's an author. The list goes on and on. This lady is just she's achieving left and right, and she is just helping people all over the place to achieve their goals in business and in life. And I hope I didn't get anything else wrong. But she is not in Idaho. She is in Chicago. But what she has to talk about, I thought would help everyone today. So again, welcome, Antoinette.
Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here.
Perfect. Well, as always, we are sponsored by Dell's Outdoor Advertising. These guys do a fantastic job at getting your message in front of your potential clients with traditional and digital billboards. And they're located throughout Southeast Idaho. And if you call Rob today at 208-232-6886 and tell him that you heard about their company on the podcast, they'll give you your free installation or your first month for free if you sign up for a 3-month deal with them. So give them a holler. They are a wonderful sponsor and a wonderful company to deal with. So, all right, back to the good stuff here, Antoinette. You know, there's so much to cover with you. You know, I don't know even where to begin with. Let's just talk about.
Shoot your shot. You can ask Miss Logan anything.
I love it. Yeah, and we'll get that towards the end. We'll roll up the red carpet and we'll let you explain where people can find you and what you can do for them. So maybe there's maybe a little known fun or interesting fact about yourself.
Well, I used to be a rapper and a singer.
That's cool.
Yeah, I used to be in the entertainment industry. It was a great time. I learned a lot, did a lot of amazing things, fun experiences, crazy experiences, some that I choose not to remember or talk about. But the entertainment industry is just that, very, very, very entertaining.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, cool. So what led you from that to now being, you know, the businesswoman you are, the mindset coach that you are, and an author now?
Well, in the entertainment industry, you're going to encounter multiple types of branding and or sponsorship opportunities. So whether it be a brand endorsement or sponsorship, you're going to want to connect with companies. And I already had some experience with working with brands prior to being in the entertainment industry from a sales representative standpoint. So I was pretty familiar. I ended up gaining some sponsorships of companies. One company gave me clothes. Another company gave me a cell phone and a computer. Another company, you know, it was just people reaching out, giving me different stuff. And I'm like, I kind of like this life. So that's kind of where it really all began. From music, I ended up focusing on PR and things that kind of brought me behind the scenes and more so working with other people. In that lane is where it kind of got interesting. It's like, you know what? We could do a whole lot more business back here. And from there, it's been all about the business.
I love it. I love it. So when you're talking branding, are we talking mostly helping people brand themselves, or are you helping with business branding, or all the above?
All of the above. It
Okay.
depends on where you are. So, the AIM agency is a creative agency that focuses on brand development and lead generation strategies. We take our client from idea to brand, brand to business, business to elevation and profits. However, we meet you where you are to help you achieve your business goals. So it just depends. So if a big company such as a Google comes with to meet with us, they're not coming to us for a logo. They're not coming to us to help them with branding their company. They may need a specific thing. So it's really all about meeting the client where they are.
Sure. Sure. What do you think? What's maybe the biggest mistakes people make as part of their branding? Either be themselves as a social media personality, or and maybe we could do a dual part of this, maybe within their businesses as well.
Well, I definitely will say it's a few things. Most people that don't have, I'm not going to say business knowledge, because you can know business and still not know branding, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that most of the time people are branding their business or themselves according to what they like. That's not how you brand. You brand your business, or if you're a personal brand, it needs to be branded according to the audience that you are looking to attract. So
Sure.
that's the number one thing. Another thing that they're doing wrong is they're not cohesive. It's not consistent. Your brand, when you see Walmart, Pepsi, Target, any of those companies anywhere, it looks the exact same no matter where you see it. If you see it at an event, if you see it in the newspaper, you see it on the news, it's the same thing. It's the exact same shade of blue, the exact same shade of red. It's the everything is the same. The font doesn't change. And it's understanding that the cohesiveness of branding matters, because every little thing that you do in your brand is sending some type of message to the brain of the person seeing it, watching it, hearing it, or encountering it in whatever way.
I like that. I like that. I think do sometimes do people get too infatuated with their logo, and they try to put that front before their message to their client? Do you see that?
Yes, yes. Because the thing is this, when you think about that logo, sometimes you're thinking too much on an image, or too much about color, or too much of one specific thing, when the reality is you have to consider all variables to get the right image.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And there are different types of logos and different reasons that you use them.
Sure.
So that's another thing. If you're starting a business and you're going to get a logo, and someone hands you one one image, and you pay whatever fee, my dear, you're not really in business.
Mm-hmm.
You have multiple logos that make up a logo family for a said brand or business. And if you look at businesses that we all know, let's say Pepsi, for example, when you see the word Pepsi by itself with just Pepsi and it's all one solid color, that's their text logo. When you see the Pepsi with the P and it's colored, that's a variation of their text logo.
Mm-hmm.
When you see the emblem, the circle, the red and white, the red and blue and white by itself, that's the emblem logo. When you see that emblem with the word Pepsi next to it, that's a variation of their main and emblem logo. So there's multiple reasons why you use your logos. When you're talking about putting your logo on your merchandise, your shirts, you're not going to always use the main logo because it may be too big. It may not be in the need of that space. So it just depends on what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what's the main usage of that particular thing you're doing.
Sure. Yeah. Well, just you think about when you're clicking into someone's website, that little favicon logo.
Exactly.
You can't put Pepsi on that full logo. It's got to be that little
Exactly.
circle or something like that. So I get you. Yeah, that's cool. That's a good thing to understand, and to to put into practice for these companies.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, let's get on. The branding is awesome. I want to kind of get a little bit more into number one. I want to get your book, talk about your book a little bit, and then I also want to talk That'll probably lead us into more mindset stuff as well.
Okay.
Tell us about this book that where it starts with I, that you've released and are selling right now.
It Starts With I is a affirmations book. It focuses on self-love, mindset, business, wealth, money, and growth. I like to take the approach of focusing on self with everything that I do. What you put into you matters. What you give the universe from you matters. And I feel that when you focus on what you're putting in, you'll have better quality of what you put out. So what I say, what I hear, what I think, what I watch on TV, what I entertain, conversations. If I'm hanging out with my friends and it's too much negativity being discussed, I am no longer interested in being a part of that conversation.
Exactly.
Because even if it's a joke or a hee hee ha ha moment, no, life isn't a joke.
Mm.
That energy, those things are going somewhere. You think just because it's words, it's just like shooting a gun. When you shoot that gun, that bullet gotta fall somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it's not a person that it falls and hits, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. You have to focus on the thing that is the most important in every single thing you do, which is you.
I love it. I love it. And this is something I focus a lot on because, especially as business owners, as leaders in the business community, we can be real hard on ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
You know, you can mess up one day. Oh, freak! I'm an idiot. And you're saying that kind of language to yourself, and after you say it over and over again, and you start to believe it, and that's not what we want to do. I had one of my mindset coaches literally had us stand up in our circles and put our hands on our waist and do the Superman pose, and we had to do like 3 brags on ourselves, like affirmations, and it was awkward.
Mm-hmm.
It was very weird because we're not used to talking in that manner about ourselves, and I thought that was very interesting. So my wife and I actually we teach a youth class in church, and I have them do that. And they
Nice.
think it's
Nice.
awkward when they first did it. But after a while, they started to come up with some good brags on themselves. And I'm like, this is great, guys. Like, this is what it's all about. It's not about comparing yourself to people on social media or comparing yourself to the person who has a bigger business than you. It's all about you and how you can help
Yes.
yourself. So is that
Yes.
is that what you would say as well?
Yes, I definitely would. The I perspective is very important. When we take the time to point the finger at things or
Mm-hmm.
other people, if you were a part of the interaction that you're talking about, you got to first take a look at you, because things don't happen to us, they happen for us.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lesson in every single thing. No matter how good or bad, there's a lesson in it. And it's only considered bad if you choose to take on that mindset. So it's all about how you look at it. And it's funny that I can tell you this because I had a troubled childhood. And I could sit here and say like, oh my goodness, my life was bad, because it in that moment, in that time when I was that person, it was because that was the mindset that I had then.
Sure.
But today, when I look at it, there are a million and one lessons that I can learn and take from each and every single moment that has transpired. And if you choose to look at it from that perspective, life is better, you feel better, things are better. It's really what you make it. Your perception is your reality.
Exactly. I find myself sometimes, find myself in a weird mood, and I have to stop and think for a minute. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I allowing myself to feel this way? What is causing me to feel this way? And most of the time, it's because of something very small that happened in the morning to start my day. And I'm like, why am I letting something so minuscule affect my entire day? How I react with people at work, how I interact with my children or even my spouse, and it's really like a conk in the head moment. Like, what are you doing? Why are you letting this
Mm-hmm.
bother you? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
very
I
interesting.
have a thing that I do, And you can try it. It works really good,
I
actually.
love it. Let's do it.
And it's really in the form of a text or something that you're typing. You know how someone might text you, "How are you today?" or "How you doing?"
Yeah.
Well, my automatic response is always going to be, "I'm amazing." Because even if you don't say it, if you type it out, your brain is reading it, which in turn you did say it and you heard it, even though it didn't come out your mouth. And now you can pretty much trick your brain to actually become amazing in that moment and
I,
carry on. Like you literally start feeling amazing. Exactly that moment, just like that.
I love it. I believe it. I'm gonna do it. That's what I'm gonna start doing from now on. Because there's too many times that you have all these other answers to that question, and it should just be as easy as it's amazing. There's there's some people I don't even ask that question to anymore because it's always a complaint. It's always something
Hmm.
negative. So I'm like, number one, if I can stay away from that person, I will. But if number two, if I'm around them, I will not ask that question because I don't want them to drag my positivity down with their negativity.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I've been around people like that.
Yeah,
Energy suckers.
they are. Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I'm like, man, I feel bad for you because you can never see the joy in your life. The beauty that's just around, and even if everything's not going your way, which does that ever happen to any of them? To any of us? Does everything always go our way?
Of course not. So you got to be willing to ride the wave as it comes.
Exactly. I love it. No, I love what you're saying. This is fantastic. Everyone needs to hear this. And I hope as we roll out the red carpet for you at the end of this, which we're coming to the end here soon, that they're gonna go and order your book and really focus on themselves and their eye. What's your why, even of why you're existing, why you're working so hard and everything else. So
Yes,
uh, go ahead.
my why is really because I matter.
Yeah.
I had to learn early on in life that it wasn't going to be mommy to be there for you. Daddy wasn't going to be there for you. They weren't there. So I had to be everything that I needed for myself. Even though along the way there were godparents that stepped in, there was a aunt there here and there. You know what I mean? So there
Yeah.
were people. But outside of what's already inside of you, you and your spirit, there wasn't anything else. So I learned early on that I had to develop this I mindset and focus on what was most important to me. And it's not selfish. It's
Yeah.
not a bad thing to do. You
It's not.
cannot be anything for someone else if you're not what you need to be for yourself first.
Man, that could not be said better. I love that. What was the big pivot point for you from growing up, in a hard environment to thinking, you know what, I can continue down this road, and I'm probably pretty sure where I know where it leads, or I can develop this mindset of I got to take care of myself and that I matter attitude. Where did that come into place for you?
Well, so even in those younger years, I always had that I mindset.
Okay.
I will say that during the time of being in those traumatic situations, the approach was different because I was still an angry person. I was still not happy, and I could have been a borderline mean, chip on your shoulder type attitude.
Sure.
And I still had the I matter attitude, but it was more so of a I care about me and I don't care about you. It's just whatever I need to do and get what I need to get. Thank you. If I need to do something for, like, if it was a deal, you give me this and I give you that, here it go. But after that, I'm moving on. Now, the love that I have for myself that gives me that I perspective is not I care about me and I don't care about you. It's
Mhm.
I care about me first and I still care about you,
I
but
love.
it's actually making sure to care for myself first in all the right ways. And to be honest with you, it's something that I'm still learning and adapting to. I don't fully have it a
Sure.
100% together. I'm not always positive. thinking in 100% of the time. I mean, there are moments that I have moments where I'm like you just said, I'm like, I do something crazy. And I'm like, girl, that's stupid. And I have to catch myself like, no, I'm not stupid. I made a mistake. Or, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm human. I have
You're
moments
human,
too.
yeah. So I'm gonna say, I don't think we'll ever get to that point. I don't think even Tony Robbins or anyone like that. That's just amazing. Everyone thinks like, oh, he's amazing, and he is. He still has those
Mm-hmm.
times, that you have to battle in your mind. Ed Milet is another one of my heroes. He's a very positive person, but man, he still has to battle for that positivity every day in his life. So I love it. Well, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Maybe we can enter into the lightning round as we come to a conclusion here. Answer a few questions for us. You mind that?
Okay, let's
Perfect.
go.
Well, first of all, I got to tell the lightning round is sponsored by New Clean Commercial Cleaning. These guys are a fantastic group. And if you need any of your janitorial solutions, your carpet cleaning solutions, your tile and grout cleaning solutions, these guys are your professional toilet scrubbers that go the distance, and they're fun to deal with. If you call 208-254-7070 and you say that you heard about them on the podcast, they will give you 2 of your restrooms, the tile and grout that's in your restrooms cleaned absolutely for free, just for saying you heard about them on the podcast. And if they can help you with your other services while they're there, let them know. And no strings attached. So, okay. Antoinette, what's maybe your favorite book or a tool or maybe a software you've used recently that's kind of been your game changer?
It would be so much easier to answer that if it was focused on a thing, because
Okay.
I use so many tools for
Sure.
different things, and they're all game changers for the thing that they do.
Pick something that just stands out in your mind that you've just recently used and you're like, man, I love this thing.
I'll say a book, 48
Okay.
Laws of Power.
Say that again.
The 48 Laws of Power.
Okay. I haven't heard of that one yet, so that's good. Put it on my list.
Yes, definitely check that out.
Okay. I love it. Okay, next one. Biggest myth business owners need to know the truth about.
It don't take all day to do anything.
That's right.
People say, "Oh, I'm building my business. I've been working on it for 2 years." And what? What's this business? Is your business the business of creating a new world or something? I'm confused because it doesn't take all day to do anything. No, a business cannot be completely built out and ran and operated and all that in a day, but that's more of branding, right? The business can be done and developed in a day. It's literally a couple of forms you fill out and a payment. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, like, building a business does not take all day.
Yep. Sometimes we overwhelm ourselves with like, oh my goodness, you see this elephant in front of yourself, you think I've got to eat this all in one day. There's no way. I can't do it. But if you have if you have a small little list of like, okay, I'm going to do these 5 things today. No matter what, these 5 things will get done. You'll see that elephant slowly being eaten,
It's funny because I have this book here, right? This workbook.
Yep.
It's pretty thick.
Yeah.
But it's actually developed for you to build your brand in the matter of a weekend. If you just sit and fill this workbook out, you have a complete brand or business built in a weekend, all the way to scheduling and launching your launch party.
I love it. I love it. Isn't that? I always hear the term: Are you a entrepreneur or an entrepreneur? Because an entrepreneur will take an idea, and within a month he'll have something running. An entrepreneur will be that person that's like, yeah, I've been working on it for 2 years. It's almost there. So
yeah,
I literally find myself when I'm procrastinating, I'm like, am I an entrepreneur or am I an entrepreneur? So that usually kicks me in gear.
It's good that you're reflecting. Yeah, keep doing that, because tapping yourself on the shoulder is holding yourself accountable to say, hey, get up out that mindset right now. Exactly. We got to do what we got to do. Let's get this moving.
That's great. You're fantastic. Thank you for coming on the show today. It's just wonderful visiting with you. So one last question though. What's one question that I should have asked that I didn't?
how can I help your audience?
There you go.
And I can help them by giving them the opportunity to connect with me for a free consultation.
Okay.
And that is where I'll know how I can really provide value, by learning where they need the help at.
I love it. Where do they go for that?
Connect with me on social media. I use social media as customer service tools.
Okay.
I'm very transparent and open there. Connect at Ask Miss Logan on any social media platform, or you can connect via the company. But if you go through the company, you might not get me directly.
Okay.
It'll have to get funneled to me. But that is AIM for Brands. And Ask Miss Logan is ASKMSLOGAN. AIM for Brands is AIM, the number 4, and Brands BRANDS.
Perfect. I love it. And they can also find your book there as well on Ask Miss Logan.
Yes, the book
Perfect.
is on both websites, actually.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. Well,
Thank
man,
you.
It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. Take your time. It's Memorial Day today that we're recording this, but it's going to be weeks from now until we release it. But thank you for taking your time during this holiday weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It has been great.
Perfect. Well, as always, those that are listening, like I always say, stay away from those negative Nancy's. You can dominate your week and dominate your day in positivity. People that are miserable just want company. So stay away from those type of people. Shrink your circles and protect yourself from that negativity. So until next time, everyone, thank you for listening and continue to share these episodes. And again, thank you, Antoinette.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.